we present a user study investigating the benefits of using visual cues to show information about a bimanual unordered task in virtual reality. Previous work on queuing performance in AR and VR has focused on sequential tasks in which a step must be completed before the user can proceed to the next. In contrast, we focus on bimanual concurrent unordered tasks, which are tasks whose steps can be done in any order and can also be done concurrently with two hands. In such situations, how might giving the user multiple cues for potentially concurrent steps affect performance time? To investigate this, we built a bimanual VR testbed in which the user needs to move multiple objects to designated destinations. The user wears a Vario XR3 VR headset and holds a Vive controller in each hand. The testbed contains 8 cylindrical objects on the platform. The initial position and goal position for each object are randomized to unique locations in an 8x4 grid on the platform. Our task consists of 8 steps. In each step, the user needs to move one of the controllers to grab and move a virtual object to its destination, guided by a cue. Each cue consists of a color line connecting an object to a semi-transparent replica of the object at its destination, with a different color used for each cue. While there are 8 possible cues, only a subset are visible at a time. The user can decide the order in which they perform the cued steps and move up to 2 cued objects at a time, 1 per controller. We've experimented with 3 different mechanisms to update a fixed size set of visible cues: static, hand proximity, and eye gaze. In the static mechanism, a randomly selected set of cues is shown at the beginning of a trial. When a cued step is completed, its cue disappears and a new randomly selected cue for an unfinished step is shown. In the hand proximity mechanism, we rank each remaining cue based on its distance to the closest controller and always show the end closest. In the eye gaze mechanism, we always show cues for the end most recently looked at objects. In our pilot studies, we observed that a user's rapidly changing hand positions or gaze often introduced unwanted instability to the set of cues being shown. Users express frustration when their moving gaze or hands unintentionally cause a cue to leave the set of visible cues. To address this, we introduced locking, which pauses cue set updates for objects that are predicted to be moved next based on hand distance. Here, we show a video played at half speed, where locked objects are shown in red in this video but remain blue in the testbed. When a step is newly queued, we record its object's distances to each of the controllers. Once one of these distances falls below a certain threshold, that object's cue is locked into the set of displayed cues until its step is completed. We conducted a user study to understand how the cue set updating approaches and the number of visible cues affect task performance. We tested 5 cue set updating approaches: static, hand proximity with and without locking, and eye gaze with and without locking. For each approach, we tested 2 to 4 cues. Then, for each condition, every participant goes through 1 untimed practice trial followed by 8 time trials, totaling 120 time trials per participant. The results show that averaged across cue set updating mechanisms, adding a 3rd cue reduces task completion time when compared to 2 cues. The results also indicate that the eye gaze approaches are faster than the hand proximity approaches, averaged across number of cues. Further, for most cases, participants perform faster when eye gaze or hand proximity approaches are used instead of the static approach. Finally, our study shows that averaged across number of cues, using locking reduces task completion time for the eye gaze and hand proximity mechanisms. To learn more, please see our paper.